Hello, I'm Richard Fletcher. Alongside me is Wolves reporter here at the Express and Star, Joe Edwards. We're here at Compton Park. Sun is shining. Wolves have been away in Marbella. They've brought the weather back with them, evidently. And Nuno reflected on that trip well as time well spent.
Yeah, we did, and everybody seems quite refreshed, he says, and benefiting from the time away. Shared some nice stories about the trip, actually. You know, obviously, they have been training hard, of course, in preparation for Brighton. They're ready, they're prepared. But they had a bit of downtime as well. Trips to the beach, a bit of go-karting, kind of said the players who you expect to be the fastest on the pitch weren't exactly the fastest in the go-kart.
So that means Traoré came last.
Yeah, perhaps. But it was nice kind of letting us into the kind of what happened in Marbella. And, you know, this is a place where they've been 3 times, I think, now, and I'm sure they'll go a 4th, maybe in a 5th or 6th, because it's a place which they really seem to enjoy. They seem to enjoy the benefits of the Marbella Football Centre, good facilities there, and of course the weather. You can't complain. I mean, look at this, we're loving this at the moment, so yeah, you can't blame them at all.
Now, Wolves have they've had an unbelievable season. They've surpassed expectations, but recent weeks the form has been a little patchier. You know, haven't won away from home for a while. They obviously had the heartbreaking Wembley defeat. Would you say the team possibly, as it's such a small squad, are they beginning to look weary? Are they beginning to look tired? And would we expect to see maybe some rotation tomorrow for the game?
I think there is definitely an argument for that, to be honest. And against Southampton in particular, there looked to be 1 or 2 that were just off the game. So I mean, Romain Saïss probably had his worst performance at the back for quite a while, and there was 1 or 2 others that just looked like they didn't really have the legs. I think Marbella, while not planned specifically for that reason, Nuno was always stressed that this was planned way ahead of schedule. But I think it did come at a good time in that sense. Get away for a few days, just recharge the batteries, so to speak, and hopefully, whether there's changes or not, we'll see that reflected against Brighton. I think there may be 1 or 2, nothing drastic. I wouldn't be surprised if Ruben Neves was just taken out the firing line for this one. He's had another child this week. Congratulations to him. But yeah, I think Romain Saïss could well play midfield, and we may see similar to Cardiff, either Ruben Vinagre or Adama Traoré on one of those flanks, just to have that pace to just try and get at a Brighton side, which are going to be nervous.
Okay, so yeah, it's Brighton tomorrow. They're in horrendous form. They lost 2-0 to Bournemouth. 5-0 to Bournemouth, 2-0 to Cardiff. They're in free fall, but Wolves this season, it's the teams who have been struggling. They've performed a lot worse against compared to those top teams. So how do you think Nuno will approach tomorrow, knowing the record Wolves have had against the lower teams already this season?
Well, he spoke a lot about that home form, and he wanting to put on a show really for the fans tomorrow. And obviously it's been a disappointing few weeks. He's eager to get back at Molineux, really excited to be back in front of the home fans, the amazing, exceptional fans that he was saying, and he just wants to put on a performance for them. And Brighton, yes, they are a team that beat Wolves in the reverse fixture, and they're in that ilk of a Burnley or a Southampton or a Huddersfield that Wolves have struggled against this season. But I think Nuno will be reflecting perhaps a little bit on that win against Cardiff at the start of March, where it was another struggling side coming to Molineux, but the kind of went with it, no fear, maybe a first tentative couple of minutes, but then after that got in the faces, got the goals, and then kind of cruised to victory. So we'd happily take a repeat of that tomorrow.
So with regards to the Brighton team itself, who should Wolves be looking out for as potential danger men?
Well, one of the big danger men, Anthony Knockout, of course, is just suspended now for that horrendous tackle that he made against Bournemouth. Yeah, that was a shocking tackle. So he's a miss for them. I mean, naturally, I think Glenn Murray is the one that you have to look out for. Yes, he's not the most mobile, he's not very strong or very quick, but he knows where the net is. Yeah. And if he's presented a chance, say 6-10 yards out, he's most likely going to gobble it up. So I think they'll have to keep a close eye on him. They've got some decent players here and there, Brighton. They're quite a physical midfield. The likes of Dale Stevens like to mix it up a bit. So that's where I think perhaps the Saïss can come in and just kind of dish it back as well. Give what you take. So I think you've got to be wary of them. They've got a couple of big lads at the back, and Wolves are going to have to try and play through them as opposed to over the top of them, I think, because Dunk and Duffy, they're quite big, centre halves that are going to gobble up things in the air.
Yeah. So we were talking about the small squad. Nuno mentioned in the press conference just then that there are a couple of younger players who travelled to Marbella. Yes. One being Max Kilman, who we know already is kind of a part of the squad, but there was another who has been involved as well.
Terry Taylor.
Thank you for saving me there. And he possibly hinted that they may have some part to play before the season ends.
Yeah, just to offer a bit of insight onto Terry Taylor. He's been with the under-18s, Scottish lad. I think they picked him up from Aberdeen. Nuno says he's a ball-playing kind of midfielder. Got a lot of good qualities. Obviously, a lot of work to do. He's still only young, but they see something in him. And he's obviously somebody that Nuno's taken a shine to. He likes to look at the academy where he can and kind of, develop some rough diamonds kind of thing. So I think he's highlighted him as one of those and said some not really nice stuff about Max Kilman. I mean, kind of hinting really that he sees him as part of kind of the first team squad now, not just a youth player. Yep. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he plays some part at the end of the season. If you don't know about Kilman, he's a ball playing defender, likes to play out from the back. He's got a background in futsal, kind of a small sided football game, played for England in that. So he's more than comfortable with the ball at his feet, and I think that's a quality Nuno really likes. So if he plays a part before the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
And another thing was mentioned was Wolves have obviously got quite a lot of players out on loan at the moment. Courtney Hawes, Brighton and Bakare. Now we're seeing them have quite a bit of success. Bright scored for Coventry at the weekend away at Sunderland, doing really well there. Courtney Hawes has developed a fantastic partnership with Tyrone Mings at Aston Villa, and Nuno sort of made it clear that they are monitoring the progress of those players, and they could, potentially return to Wolves next season and have a future.
Yeah, he did. He said they're keeping an eye on everyone that's out, and I mean that's a task in itself because there's 25 away from Molineux on loan at the moment. But he's keen to keep an eye on them, see how they're doing. He said all the reports back from Coventry. I mean, it's been out there anyway, but he said all the reports he's had back have been very positive. Obviously, he's not in the mood to make decisions on the futures of these players yet. Bright's one whose contract comes up in the summer. I think Wolves do have an option to extend now, and I would expect them to, exercise that option, even if it means selling them on for a fee, because I don't think they want to lose these players for nothing. Happy with how Bright's getting on, happy with how Courtney's getting on, and happy with pretty much how the squad is, because they've got no injury problems going into Brighton either. So fingers crossed they can get 3 points, get that win.
And that's something that must be commended, the lack of injury throughout the season. The fitness staff here at Wolves are obviously doing a superb job conditioning the players. Compared to other teams in the division, Wolves have had virtually no injuries really all season, have they? Yeah,
I think Antonio Diaz, especially, is coming for quite a bit of praise, and I think fans have recognised that, the contribution that he's had in keeping the players in tip-top shape. And I mean, it's kind of unprecedented, isn't it? Wolves haven't really had a massive long-term injury this season. There's been one or two here and there, niggles, a couple of months for it. We had Jota's ankle for a while and things like that, but nothing long-term. So yeah, it's very good. It's always a benefit to have, especially when you've got such a small squad, when you've got so many of them available, in this case all of them. So yeah, I think Wolves are going into this Brighton game refreshed, ready, and hopefully pick up 3 points.
So what's the score going to be then?
I'd like to see him keep a clean sheet. I think it's been a while. I think they're due one. So if they can keep them at bay, get similar to Cardiff, get those 1 or 2 goals, I'd happily take a 2-0. I'll go for that.
Fantastic. Joe, Tim and Nathan Judah will all be at Molineux tomorrow. For all the build up to this one, please log on to expressandstar.com.